Welcome to Olds Mob 455. We've got another project, and it's an old John Deere tractor. It's a twin cylinder, and it's got 6-volt ignition, and it's positive ground. And at first, we charged the battery up, couldn't even get it to crank over. So then you'll see on this device right here, in order to engage the starter, you just push a lever, and it made contact. It wouldn't do that. So we had to take that all apart, keep sanding at the copper connections, got the motor cranking now. Then we didn't have spark. So we took the spark plugs out, we're checking for spark, nothing there. Sanded the points. We had continuity with the points closed, so we know that works. Then there was some wires that were frayed and stuff. They must have gone to lights or something. But we're just concerned with getting power to this 6-volt coil. On here there's a little switch that you turn to ignition. And now we're going to check for spark. We got spark. So then the carburetor's probably all clogged up. We'll put some ether in there and see if she fires up. If that works, then probably the carburetor's got to come apart and clean that all up, and then we'll get this thing running for the guy. This is how the carburetor is an updraft, and when it goes through this whole device, you see this oil bath air cleaner. So the air comes through here, and then it's kind of like breathing through a bong or a hookah or something, so then the dirt gets captured in this oil. But we had that off when we were trying to spray some ether up there, but it's a long track to follow through the carburetor. Oh yeah, the throttles didn't even move. Everything was rusted solid, and we got that freed up. So hopefully, we cleaned the sediment bowl. There's a sediment bowl underneath the tank. Poured a little gas in there, and it was flowing through. So then we went like this, and then you can see it started overflowing. So we know the float needles, or the float's probably dropped, and it fills up with gas because the float needle doesn't, go up or down, and it's just dumping gas out.
Here's the throttle. Put it up there.
Is that working better now?
Yeah, it's loosened up. This choke is froze, unfortunately.
Got the ignition on?
Yep, ignition.
Okay.
Turn the gas on.
So I was just checking the oil, and it's got this spring levered thing, and you got to put this in here and then push that in, and it keeps it tight. But the exhaust manifold gaskets are leaking, and this is leaking in between here. We could use a new muffler.
It looks like it's combined intake and exhaust casting. We're going to try this charging system on a couple different settings here and see what we get on this fancy multimeter.
You get these for free when you buy stuff at Harbor Freight.
Let's just run it on the battery.
Uh-oh, I think something shorted. So the tractor was running fine, and all of a sudden killed. And it starts with ether, but it won't run just with gas. So we're thinking the float needle's stuck closed. It won't let any gas get into the engine. So we had to take the carb off, and then we're going to try to get the float needle free. And then at that time, we can get the choke free. And we got a bunch of old gas, so we're just going to soak it in gas and brush it and take it all apart and free up stuff. Before we even tackle on it, let's just try to get the outside clean. We're just using old gas. And when we were pouring the old gas out, there's all kinds of metal from inside the tank. Free up the choke. Free up the parts. So I got the choke freed up now. So you can see all the crud that was in here. And when I drop this down, I don't know. Oh, it just dropped. The needle dropped. It was stuck before. But there's a whole bunch of crud inside here, so we got to clean that out. That's a cast iron carburetor.
Needs a new bowl gasket, but I think it'll work for now. We got a coolant leak here.
You can't get at the one underneath here. You have to take the cover off.
Were you able to tighten this one up?
Couldn't get nothing on it. It's tight.
There's plenty of radiator fluid in it. Crack this open here. See if this old girl fires up.
So we got a situation right now where it's leaving puddles of oil. And we don't want to run it dry. And you'll notice that all this thing is, a tractor is an engine, a clutch, pressure plate and flywheel, and a tranny, and it goes back to this axle. This axle splits there, and there's a power takeoff coming off of those gears, and then it goes into these portal boxes. This is where there's a gear here, and there's a gear down there that even gets the gear reduction even lower to spin these big tires. And that's what you want a tractor for, is a low-end torque to pull a plow and rip the dirt up. So we need to find out what the elevation of the oil's supposed to be and where to even put the oil in.